Welcome back to Mike's Miniatures, the place for all things mini wargaming. And in today's episode of Faction Friday, looks like we have the World Eaters and how to start one of Chaos World Eaters' army right here for you folks today. So the World Eaters are basically, if the Black Templars went so far zealous and believed in the Chaos Gods rather than the Emperor, this is basically what you get here. I know, controversial to say, but that's just kind of how when I've been looking at it, how it is. They still have their Primarch Angron, who in the lore is now a demon prince, and his wicked dreadlocks, as you can see in these pictures here, are actually a thing called the Butcher's Nails, which are kind of a pain enhancer, to where the only time he actually feels comfort and not actually in pain is when he is inflicting carnage and that on others. That's because on the home world that he crash landed on in the lore of 40k, it was all basically an evil gladiatorial world, and they made him their top gladiator, but to enhance his brutality, they did the Butcher's Nails in for him here, and it's so intense that even the Emperor is not able to remove the nails, apparently, to give him any kind of a peace that way. So that, combined with, in the lore, the Emperor not actually giving him any much aid when he and his fellow gladiators were rebelling against his overlords on that wicked planet, it kind of helped speed his way into falling to chaos during the Horus Heresy. So you can't really blame him, but at the same time, he's still a pawn of chaos that way. But the model that we've been given for Angron for the modern 40k compared to what he was for 30k in Horus Heresy, I think he's definitely the Chaos Gods gave him a glow up right here, and this model is almost an auto include for anybody who plays World Eaters right here. But I'm going to, with the thematic list build today, just kind of show you how we can do you can do before you get your Angron to kind of just start playing it here. And the best part about these guys is that it's relatively cheap with their combat patrols and things like that. And the best part is these guys have two color schemes for painting, but they have their classic all red with silver trim, or you could do the old Horus Heresy paint scheme where they're in all white armor with like the gold trim, and you can be as messy as you want with like the flicks of blood and gore effects with both of these to kind of show that they are aggressive. But this is basically the combat patrol that we now have for the World Eaters. It'll come with 22 miniatures. The first 10 are Khorne Berserkers, and these are your basic battle line troops for the army. Khorne Berserkers, and this army, as you'll notice, is very melee oriented. They are terrible with shooting. They don't like doing shooting too much. Only a certain few will allow them to do that, but these guys are very much like assault intercessors. They have like bolt pistols and that to kind of do some shooting to slightly weaken the enemy, but their biggest damage dealing is charging in and doing the melee combat. The same with the next set of 10 models here, the Jackals. These are kind of like chaos cultists that are geared towards the chaos god Khorne, so naturally they fall with the World Eaters army because Khorne is the patron god for the World Eaters here. With the Nurgle army previously and things like that, each faction of Chaos has their own kind of chaff unit, and this is their chaff unit here. Then the box is going to come with a Demon Prince, and the Demon Prince here is the one without wings. You can obviously build yours with wings, and what my friends in my local hobby store who play Chaos Forces typically say when you get your box, do the one with wings because it's just overall better with the stat-wise and things like that. And then the Master of Executions is a classic HQ leader for this army. It's a good support leader compared to what we would normally get with it right here. Now, this box is about 505 points without any enhancements to the leader units and things like that. MSRP from Games Workshop is going to be $170, just like normal. But on Amazon, with the affiliate link down below, you guys, you could get this box for $141.30 at time of recording. Obviously, this can subject to go down or slightly up, but this is a very common army, has been around quite a while, and unlike the last box, the Nurgle box, this is not out of production or behind on it. They've got plenty of these boxes here, so it's still much cheaper to get it through the affiliate link here, and you get to support the channel. But how I would expand from the box right here, get some 8-bound or Exalted 8-bound. I believe they come within the same kit, and you kind of want to build them up to be the Exalted 8-bound, because the Exalted 8-bound are have better options for dealing with enemy vehicles with their weapons versus the regular 8-bound. But these are kind of like Berserkers Plus, Khorne Berserkers Plus. So go with the Exalted 8-bound. I get 2 boxes of these, so you can have either 2 squads of 3 or 1 big squad of 6 moving forward from there. And then to give them some sort of shooting right here, I get 2 boxes of Chaos Terminators here and give them their heavy weapons to help with other vehicles and or heavily armored opponents here that your basic troops don't do so well with it here. And obviously, this, before we get Angron, we need to have some sort of a leader that'll lead this force here, and that's where we would get Khorne the Betrayer. He's kind of like the right-hand man of the Demon Prince and the Primarch here of the World Eaters. He's borderline basically the chapter master for this army, as far as I can tell with the lore, and he's got some great rules to where even if he dies, I think it's on a roll of a 4 up, he can stand up with 1 wound still and just continue fighting, or before the end of turn, and then he actually will die. He's just a stubborn, good character to have and to lead with the force, and he can be attached to a number of different units here to boost them. But this is basically what I would get to expand it, and to continue with expanding the army, I just get another box of the Combat Patrol, because it's just that good of a box right here. And this is basically what you'll get to have the entire army, what it would look like on the field. This comes to 1,785 points without any enhancements on your leaders or adding anything else like vehicles or anything like that to this army. You can obviously, with the extra wiggle room, look at some enhancements and maybe get like Chaos Rhinos to help speed your Berserkers or your Terminators down the battlefield a little bit more, but it's obviously not necessary. This is very much a Chaos Horde army of melee. You just deploy them and be aggressive and charge in. Blood for the Blood God, people. You don't need to worry about losses, because Khorne is happy either way. But ultimately, what you'll want to eventually get, if you're going to get serious with this army, you can obviously add and remove different models from here to be able to take Angron with your force. He is at 385 points at MSRP at the exact same cost as a Combat Patrol box by himself, but he is just a total powerhouse here of a unit. And I've been told by others that he, just like Mortarion for the Death Guard, is a fun model to put together and to paint up. He is very much a passion project and a great centerpiece model for this force here. But that's basically how I would start the World Eaters if I was going to get these guys to help battle with my Black Templar force and the Argent Templar force that I currently have. But again, everybody, please use the affiliate links down below if you want to start this army. It'll help support the channel, and so we can continue to make great videos here for you. And I want to thank you guys for all the likes, comments, and follows, and the shares that you've been doing so far. Our little community is starting to grow, and it just brings me so much joy to watch all of us be able to grow. And I will, in the comments section, as some of you may have already noticed, We are still a small enough channel that I will answer as many questions as I can to the best of my knowledge. Any questions about this army or any others, and leave comments too down below if there is a faction you want us to see next. We've got one more Chaos faction for the month, of which will be the Thousand Suns, which I'm actively working on right now, doing some research on how to thematically do an army with them. But until next time, guys, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Miniatures, and bye-bye.